Hi, Seminary Scholars. This is Mrs. Cruz with our weekly update videos. And as usual with this video, I'm just going to try to give you some announcements, give you any updates, and just really go over what this week will look like for us. So we're already on week 3 of quarter 4, and I hope that we're trying to find our routines for this class and really getting used to what to do for our new book, Roll of Thunder, Hear My Cry. But as usual, I like to start with some shout outs. So I'm going to kind of just announce our Scholars of the Week and give them a quick shout out as to what really stood out this week. In period 3, our shout out goes to Santino Rivera. I know that you're working really hard, and I could tell that you're getting used to our routines because this last week you're turning everything in on time. You're showing up to the Zoom sessions too and getting used to what that looks like. So good job. I know in period 4, a similar situation, Hector, I can see that you're doing all the work, you're trying your best, and you're really reaching out to me and asking questions when you really need something clarified. Period 5, Isaac, you stood out this week because not only are you also attending the Zoom sessions, but the quality of your work has been really great, and I know that these last few weeks you're trying your very best. And then I also wanted to give a shout out to Jesus because through the responses that you gave, I could tell you're watching the videos that I'm putting out. Thank you for making sure to pay attention to those, and I could tell that your answers were really high quality too. So way to go and way to get all the work done. Okay, so a few week 3 reminders. A lot of them are similar from last week. I'm going to repeat myself a little bit just because last week was really big and we started Roll of Thunder, Hear My Cry. So that's going to be why I am going to just go over things really quickly again. Just a reminder that with long distance learning, I'm giving you guys a 2-week window to turn in late work, and make sure to email me when you turn something in late. Because with all of the emails that I'm getting, it's really a lot to go through. So it's really easy when you guys specifically tell me in the email, I turned these 2 things in late, can you please check them? Remember that late work does tend to lead to stress, which we're trying to avoid as much as possible. So really just try your best to always work on the items that are due this week. And this is the week where we're on the last days where if you're missing something from week 1, you want to make sure you turn that in because otherwise that window is going to close. And then as noted, we started reading Roll of Thunder, Hear My Cry last week. So if you didn't do last week's homework, it's actually pretty easy to catch up since we only read 1 chapter. So really prioritize catching up on the reading. It's one of those things where you can't just go on to chapter 2 and 3 this week if you haven't done chapter 1, just because the story won't make sense. So just make sure you're watching the videos that I post and that you're participating in all the discussions to learn more about the book. Here's what I recommend if we haven't done the work yet. I would go to my 7i period 4. Remember that under classwork, you will see if you scroll all the way down, it has collection 6. So if you haven't turned in Roll of Thunder chapter 1, I just graded them. So you should check to see on your Aries if you have gotten credit for that. And then if you go back on the stream, you'll see all the videos that I put. So last week was the 21st. And if you notice, actually it was the 20th, sorry. So if you notice on the 20th, I said in these videos, I complete Monday's homework, pages 1 through 7 of chapter 1, along with text appended question number 1. So watch these to complete the homework with me. I have to split them into 2 videos sometimes, just because of time. But if you watch the videos, I tell you what I'm doing that day. I completed the vocabulary with you guys. See, so found the prospects of both intriguing. So there's a little bit of information there. So I do the reading with you. So just make sure you're watching those videos to make sure that you understand how to do the work. Okay, let's go. And then as I mentioned to you, I always recommend that you guys are participating in our Zoom sessions because that's always the best way to make sure that you are getting. So just make sure that you're attending the Zoom sessions. Starting this week, I'm combining all classes, and it should hopefully sound more like a Socratic seminar where you are sharing out your question, and you guys are taking turns answering the question out. So here's what our book looks like. Roll of Thunder, Hear My Cry. Hopefully you guys have already read chapter 1 with us. And those of you who completed the work last week, you know that you're assigned either 1 or 2 chapters each week. Each week you'll get 2 vocabulary words to pay attention to. You'll get some text-dependent questions to answer, usually 4. And then on Wednesday, I will ask you to post an unanswered question on either Google Classroom, or you could go to the Zoom sessions. And then at the end of the week, you get a chapter quiz. Okay, so remember that the weekly discussions, you have 2 options. As I was saying, one of them is to go on Google Classroom and post your question. And then here's a part we don't want to forget. Make sure you're responding to 2 classmates by clicking reply to their question. So in order to get the full points on Google Classroom, you have to do both. Post your question and respond to 2 classmates. And then option B is to join the 30-minute Zoom session on Thursday. And then the quizzes are being posted Friday, they're due on Sunday. We are trying the closed note quiz, so thank you for those of you who are trying your best without your notes. And you do only get 1 entry per student. Okay, so those are the recaps of what to expect each week. The chapter notes, which include the vocabulary and text-dependent questions, the discussion post on Wednesday, Thursday's the deadline to either respond on Google Classroom or on Zoom, and then the quiz at the end. And then remember, we're saying avoid spoilers. So if you're ahead in the book, please don't give away spoilers to anybody, whether that's through our discussions in class or even if you talk to somebody on your own. Okay, so let's just quickly look at our weekly schedule for week 3. So here it is. Our inspirational quote of the week is, if you look at what you have in life, you'll always have more. If you look at what you don't have in life, you'll never have enough. That actually kind of reminds me of our consumerism unit, but I thought it was pretty accurate with what's going on in our current situation today too. And then our scholar goal that Ms. Pena mentioned is to check your student portal at least 3 times per week. So the student portal is where you're checking your grades, and it shows you your missing assignments. So always check there to see if you're getting credit for something. Don't just look at Google Classroom. So the student portal is where you should be worried if you see something's missing. Okay, then the weekly video is the one I'm making now. You can click here to watch it once again, to watch what to expect this week. Okay, this week we have chapters 2 and 3 that are due, and that means all the notes that are due on Friday. As far as pacing goes, today, Monday, try to complete the vocabulary, scan the questions, then read 7 to 8 pages every day and complete 1 text-dependent question each day. A little bit later at 1:30, I will be having an optional Google Hangouts. You can click that link in order to get to that discussion. And then here it kind of just tells you your pacing for the other days. So you have read pages 8 through 15, read pages 16 to 24, read pages 25 or 32, and if you follow that pacing, you should be done by Thursday. And then on Wednesday, I have another optional Zoom office hours where you can jump in if you have any questions or want to ask, just say hi basically. And then on Thursday, your discussion is due either on Google Classroom or if you attend a Zoom session. All classes will be at 1 this week. And then make sure by Friday you're ready to turn in your chapters 2 to 3. And then we will have a quiz that will be given to you that day. Just a few reminders about our notes that I'm noticing. Most of you are doing a good job adding your 2 synonyms and adding an image here. Remember that here's the audio for you if you want to listen along. And just a few reminders about our text-dependent questions. Just make sure that you are completing them using Says Means Matters like we did before in class. And if you get stuck, that's what the videos are for, so just make sure you're watching the videos. And lastly, one last thing, I forgot to give you page numbers in the document this week. So just remember that in order to see the page numbers, it tells you here on the right. So do you see here I'm on page 2, and if I scroll down, this is telling me it's page 3. So that tells me the page numbers if I get a little stuck. Okay? But other than that, thank you for those of you who ask questions, and also a big thanks for all of you who are watching the videos so that you guys have less questions on what to do and what to expect. So I'll talk to all of you soon.